Release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. Oh, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. There you are. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. Oh, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. There you are. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for
Good morning. This is an interesting morning, and it's so interesting that Paulette Jones is here. Yay! And also one of our wonderful members that I haven't seen for a while, Denise Torrance, is here too. And all of you are here in this vast amount of people, and in Facebook land. And in Facebook land, I keep thinking, what is today? Is there something happening today somewhere? Anyway, this is who we are. I am Reverend Pam Gagan, the Center for Spiritual Living Senior Minister, only until Kelly Brzezinski steps in, and that'll be August 1st. Yay! And this is who we are. And it is my honor now to introduce Reverend Lynn Chaplin Noe. Yay!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley. Our vision is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And the way we would do that right here in this beautiful sanctuary is teaching and demonstrating spiritual principles for living an abundant and fulfilling life in a welcoming, compassionate community. And that's you. You are the compassionate community. And we have the flames of faith. Reverend Pam, would you come and help me, please? We have the flames of faith. We celebrate all paths that lead to the recognition of the divine. We honor shamanism as a path of the inward journey of soul travel. We honor Hinduism as a path of recognizing the divine in each person. We honor Judaism as a path of law. We honor Taoism as a path of recognizing the perfect order and balance of the universe. We honor Buddhism as a path of compassion and peace. We honor Christianity as a path of love and forgiveness. We honor Islam as a path of constant prayer. We honor Baha'i as a path of recognizing the oneness of all religion. We honor New Thought as a path of healing and the power of the mind. And we honor you and what you brought here today. There's that one fine thread that runs through all religions, and that thread is love. We are love, we come from love, and we honor our oneness within us all.
Thank you.
And now it's time for Betty Ann's quote, which is a beauty today. And this is one, I hope we have copies of this because this is a wonderful one. You can say this along with me if you'd like, together. Today, I rise up in consciousness to live a life of love and peace. I let my words be full of good cheer and positive energy. What a lovely power I walk through life with. My consciousness rises with the acknowledgement. Every experience passes whether I like it or not, whether I call it good or bad. I let go of negative judgment and let my life energy be positive, healthy, and fun. I celebrate all my days and nights, and so it is. And so it is time for a lovely song. I know that we love this so much. It's Who Are You? Do You Know Who You Are? And it's Lisa Coffey's from her wonderful musical that she wrote. So this is Do You Know Who You Are?
Do you know who you are? Do you know from where you came? When you understand the truth, life will never be the same. Never was there a time when there was not a we. Never will there come a time when any of us cease to be. Do you know who you are? You're not this body, this garment that gets shed. You are what continues on this infinite thread. You cast off worn out clothes and those that you outgrow. The soul casts off a worn-out shell and enters into one that's new. Do you know who you are? Death is certain for the body, and for this you should not grieve. The Atma who dwells in each of us is indestructible and free. It can't be cut or burned. It can't be wiped out with the eternal, all-pervading. It is the same forever, forever. The self is the one that's you. Unmanifest,
unchanging. Therefore know it to be so. You won't waste your time grieving. Death comes to all who are born. It is unavoidable. Birth comes to those who die. As a part of the karmic cycle, do you know who you are? But the self dwelling in all bodies never dies, cannot be slain. Though the body may be wounded, the soul doesn't feel any pain. Consider your own dharma, from which you should not waver. Do your duty as a warrior, and don't refuse this righteous labor. You said you would. Your very honor is at stake. Do your best and fight for what's good. There are no errors you can make. If you die, you'll go to heaven, and if you win, you'll enjoy it. Therefore, arise, Arjuna, and resolve to show your worth, 'cause you know you are. You can control your actions, so do your very best. You can't control the outcome. Trust Brahman to do the rest.
The lights are on. Good morning, everyone. I'm Buzz Noy, one of the practitioners here for 12 years now. And I'm going to open... Oh, on the mic. Oh, that's right. You want to hear me out there as well as in here. So I'm going to open our session up with an affirmative prayer. So let's do this right now. Let's go within ourselves, into our inner self. Close our eyes and know along with me these words as I say them in the first person. Please make them your own. For I know that right here and right now, in this singular moment in the eternal, infinite evolution of life itself, there is one source to all that is. And we will hear from Paulette Jones talking about how, as we make a contract with life, since God is life and life is God, we are making a contract and a covenant with God. And I know that as I have that contract with the oneness that is God, and I continue to move forward in my life focused on love, on compassion, on caring, and on giving and sharing. As I move forth with this as my focus, these same qualities of life will be coming back to me through that connection with God that I know that is mine right here and right now. And for this connection and for this awareness that life is continuing to, as Betty Ann says, unfold perfectly, I give my thanks, my gratitude to the oneness of God. And I release these words to the infinite oneness of God, knowing it's easy for God to take care of the details while I continue to move forward in life, focused as I can on doing the good things that I can, when I can, and where I can. And I release these words into that oneness of God, and we can all close by saying together, and so it is. And so it is. I thank you all for being here, both live with us and out there online. We're going to have another YouTube video by Daniel Nabod. It's gotta be true. Thank you.
Am I nervous? Of course I am. You don't even have to ask. Facing a mystery, anyone would be. One more step and it's out of my hands. There can be no turning back. Can't say what's in front of me. You know I can't wait to see. This is something I owe to myself. This is something I've just gotta do. I don't know what I'll find, but there's one thing I know about my life. It's just gotta be true. Oh yeah. I remember, of course I do, how I used to hear my heart. What I most wanna be, what I most long to see. Well, that voice has faded so far away. I hardly recognize myself. What happened to me? No wonder I couldn't breathe. This is something I owe to myself. This is something I just gotta do. I don't know what I'll find, but there's one thing I know about my life. It's gotta be, yeah, it's just gotta be true. It's been a lifelong habit, gave away my power, playing follow the leader again and again. Well, my soul won't have it, I won't hide or cower. I'm ready to dive back in. This is something I owe to myself. This is something I've just gotta do. This is something I owe to myself. This is something I've just gotta do. I don't care what I'll find, but there's one thing I know about my life. It's gotta be true. It's gotta be true. It's gotta be true.
Back again. I'm a practitioner. Even though I'm a minister, I'm always a practitioner. And our ministers, of course, Reverend Pam, Reverend Kelly, Dr. Sue, and myself are always, first and foremost, practitioners. And our lead practitioner is Pamela Bailey. And our practitioners that we have, and we have a wonderful family, Marcia Beebe, Shirley Berman, Donna Butler, Pauline Pancake, and the lovely and talented Buzz Noe. Thank you. So today I just want to talk about a world that works for everyone. We say that all the time, don't we? And it's almost like, I want a world that works for everyone, or I want an ice cream cone. It's, we got to kind of get behind this. We've got to get behind it. A world that works for everyone means that we have to change our level of consciousness, because you know what's happening. In the olden days, it would take weeks or months or sometimes years for news to get around the world to the masses. And now it takes as long as it takes to get into that little computer you hold in your hand. Seconds, milliseconds, macroseconds. Information is coming around to us so quickly, and we're having to process all of that. And if we're eager to manifest a world that works for everyone, then we're going to have to raise our consciousness to rise to the level of love for everybody, period. What is the saying? What is that thing? yeah, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So, golly, thank you so much.
I'm here for you.
I know it's polenta in here, just it's polenta. Yes, thank you so much. If we don't love ourselves perfectly and wholly, we can't love anybody else. And if we can't love everybody else, then we have an issue. We have a problem about wanting a world that works for everyone. And so let's get on that. Let's raise our consciousness to the level of how I do anything is how I do everything. When the pandemic separated us, what did we do? We went right to Zoom calls. We got on our phones. We called each other. We stayed together. Somehow or another, as separated as we were, we came back together as communities, especially here. We were always on Facebook Live. We used this media that's so ready and so zippy and so urgent. We used it to keep our community and actually grew our community. And so if we engage ourselves in one another because of the unconditional, immutable, irrefutable, and irresistible power of love, then we are creating a world that works for everyone. The answer is love. Period. Love. I have some quotes for you. Just a minute. Move freely about the cabin. I'm getting... Okay. Love is the only final security in the universe. Love is the greatest healing power in the universe. The only thing that binds people together in a community of spirit. Ernest Holmes. Jesus said to him, "Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy whole heart, and with thy whole soul, and with thy whole mind. And the second is like to this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." Finally, whatsoever you do to the least of your brothers and sisters, you do unto me. And that was, of course, Jesus. So let's have a loving, centering treatment, shall we? Let's close our eyes, please. And as I breathe into this silence and into the music, I breathe into that inner self where lies the kingdom. This is God, this presence that I sense, that I feel, this presence that fills me with love, acceptance, generosity, creativity, anticipation, this presence that is and always shall be, is God. And I most certainly am one with this presence, as is everybody on this planet and all life on this planet. Every human, every leaf, every animal, every creature, every sunrise, every sunset. As Betty Ann says, I celebrate my days and nights. And so I celebrate this presence within me, which is love. And I take this love which is within me and I spread it all over the place on my pathway today. I am love. I am born of love. I give love. And for these truths, I am so very grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm one with Source, and that I have the opportunity to show love and give love and spread love wherever I walk. I release these loving truths into this presence that knows what to do with these truths, this presence that is God, while I enjoy this beautiful, lovely, enthusiastic service, discovering the covenant with this presence. And together we say, And so it is. And so it is time for, I knew this was going to go right out of my head. Right out of the polenta again. Is there someone going? Oh, Daniel. Oh, when I pray? Daniel Nimode. I'm sorry, everybody. Little loosey-goosey today. Here's Daniel Nimode again.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right
And speaking about going deeper, I am so excited because our wonderful Paulette Jones is here giving not only a wonderful talk, but a workshop afterwards. And if you would like to join this workshop, please see me or Paulette directly after. And not only that, she's a comedian. She is a wonderful speaker and teacher. Welcome, Paulette. Yay! Yay!
Does everybody have one of these? If you don't, here's one. Here you go. Would you like to pass those out, anybody? Because I have other things to do right now. There should be some on the chairs, which is okay. Hi, and God bless everybody. This is my hydrator. Oh, it's a little redundant, isn't it? Life is always about choices. We have to choose one or the other of these. Of course, I could hold both of them up and it would sound like this. That good? Hi! You know, I was here 11 months ago, last August, and I did this exact talk. Do we have a presentation that you can put up, Marcia? Anyway, I did this exact talk, and I've been invited back, so that's kind of cool. We are scheduling a workshop, but we need, a number of people. We need critical mass. So anyway, talk to Marcia or Rev Pam or me or somebody, Buzz. I don't care who you talk to, if you're interested in this, because this is a life changer. It really is. It was for me. It was the idea about creating a covenant with life, an agreement, a contract. I like the word covenant because it just gives me a better there's kind of a more sacred feeling behind the word covenant. We think of the covenant between God and Abraham as an example. This is a covenant between God and you and yourself and the world around you, and it takes into account the states of being you want to see manifest in your life. What kind of states of being do you want to see manifest in your life? Like I am healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, etc., etc. Those are kind of states of being that I want to see manifest in my life. And if I do, then I've got to put my order into the universe, right? I've got to make it known. I've got to declare it as my own, and I have to make it part of... I'm speaking about me up here, by the way. I'm speaking about you as well, but I need to hear this myself. Because on the way out here, I said this covenant to myself, I'm going to guess 10 times. And I say it to myself frequently because it gives me grounding. It gives me a sense of connection to the states of being I want to see manifest in my life. A connection to my value system. A connection to my relationships as they are now and as I wish to see them. And finally, once I understand all that, it declares a code of conduct, how I conduct my life through this thing called life, through this journey, this life journey that we're on. My last corporate job, I was the general manager of the largest computer keyboard company in the world. We were the biggest. So if you bought a Dell or any of those computers, you were using our keyboards most likely. And I managed that, and one of the things I was responsible for was creating contracts with major international companies that covered many companies, many currencies, different nations, et cetera, and we had very complex. But that process taught me something about creating a contract or a covenant with life, because contracts are great. Contracts are wonderful. They spell out expectations, how each party is supposed to conduct themselves. And they take into account the needs and requirements of those entities. And they come together and they codify it in this document. I've come together with myself, because I understand me. I don't work with other people, I guess, on this, but we can in the workshop if we have a workshop. So anyway, it takes into account that thing that I'm talking about, the states of being that I want to see manifest in my life. And it really clarifies for me and defines for me who I am. And so as I'm walking around, I might say to myself, I'm healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, capable, powerful, loving, and happy. That I stand in the truth of who I am and joyfully embrace the boundless possibilities of who I am becoming. I bring the best of who I am to whatever I do. I live with honor and integrity. I approach every day with a smile, an open heart, an attitude of gratitude, and a continuous sense of wonder and awe. I love, honor, and protect my children and those entrusted to my care. And I teach them through my living example about the goodness and the endless beauty of life. I use my talents, resources, and abilities to enhance the lives of other people. I maintain my sense of humor. I continually learn and grow, and I accept complete responsibilities for the outcomes in my life that are the result of choices that I have made. That's a contract with life, and that's a game worth playing. That's a game worth living. It becomes part and parcel of who you are, and it revolves around this idea of connection to life, connection to your experience of this thing called life. And we come up with this idea of a covenant, an agreement, a contract. So today, here, I'm going to give you an idea about how that process is like. First of all, I think the overall arching principle here is to make it part of your consciousness. You can go create a contract, a covenant, and then throw it in a drawer somewhere and you say, hey, I did it. But without making it a part of who you are, you've wasted a whole bunch of time. And nobody likes wasting time. Well, some people like wasting time, I suppose, but I'm not one of them. So this idea about a contract, a covenant with life, it not only reminds you of who you are, it keeps you grounded. It keeps me connected to who I am. And there's a lot of other benefits about it. And in a later slide, I'm going to go into those benefits. One of them is we all know that trouble finds us. It has a way of doing that, right? Adversity. We've all experienced adversity. Some of us are experiencing adversities right now in one form or another. But this idea about having a covenant, a contract with life, creates a safe harbor for you, a safe harbor, so I can think about, gee, the bills are due, I'm having trouble paying the mortgage, or whatever those things are that you're struggling with. You can put those on the back burner. They will still exist, but you're not recognizing that because that's not a reality. The reality is you're healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, capable, powerful, loving, and happy, etc., 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 or whatever kinds of states of being you decide is right for your life. That's what this is all about. Can we go to the next slide very quickly? We did that pretty quickly. We are experiencing constant change in evolution. Do you know you have changed since you walked into this door today? You have already changed. You have perhaps hugged someone or touched someone, and you exchange matter. And you're learning new things. You've come experience with consciousness of other individuals, and that changes you. We are continually changing. Think about the nature of the universe. As we are sitting here, your car, you parked it outside, and an hour from now, it'll be exactly where you left it, but it'll be over 2.3 million miles from where you left it. What? Yeah, because as you're sitting here, this earth is turning at 1,000 miles an hour, right? So you're moving 1,000 miles an hour just sitting in there, but just sitting on your can or whatever it is that you're sitting on. So 1,000 miles an hour, and this Earth that we are on is spinning around this elliptical path around the sun at 68,000 miles per hour. And that is just one speck in this beautiful, this constellation known as the Milky Way. And it is in one radial arm, our solar system, and that thing is moving at 576,000 miles an hour. And that whole Milky Way galaxy is moving towards something called the Great Attractor at about 1.3 million miles an hour. So when you get through all that and you add up all the math, your car has, and you, and this building has moved about 2,375,000 miles in that 1 hour. Yeah, so we are nowhere. You are zipping through space, and you're leaving a wake of consciousness behind you, a wake that changes the universe. We are change agents. The universe is a change agent. So as long as we know we are changing, why not change in a constructive manner? Why not change into something that that really captures the essence of what you want to get out of life, that captures your values, that captures the nature of your relationships as you want them to be, and then creates a code of conduct through life. You know, in the military, when you go in the military, one of the first things you are exposed to is something called the use things, because we have to have conduct, otherwise we could live like savages, right? We have to have some sort of structure in our life, and this is a great way to structure. I stand in the truth of who I am and joyfully embrace the boundless possibilities of who I am becoming. Think of the change that that involves there right now. We are continually changing. You ain't the same as when you came in here. And your car will be like, what, 2.3 million miles away from where you left it, but right where you expect it. Next slide, please. So let's talk about this. In order to do this, I've cut up life into 4 different domains. We'll call them the domains of life. And by the way, there's no book that will tell you this. This has all come out of my made-up fantasies in my head. But it really works for me. So, you know, anyway, there's these 4 domains. And the first one, and they lead to questions, right? So the first domain is the domain of goodness. What kind of good things do I want to see manifest in my life? For me, as I'm healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, capable, powerful, loving, and happy. For you, by the way, if you ever feel like you want to create a contract with life, you could steal the one that is right there, and that's fine. Just take it, it's yours. Or make changes to it as you see fit. The thing is to personalize it so that it makes sense to you, not to me. Nothing makes sense to me. It's got to make sense to you. And so those are the kind of things you want to ask. That's a question. What are those states that are important to me that I want to see as hallmarks of my life and who I am? The next one is, once I know the goodness, the states, I have to ask myself values. Do you have values? You know, for a long time, people might say to me, although it didn't, I don't know, what are you got to know. You got to know what your value system, you know already what your value systems are. But you got to ask the question, what are my values, and write them down. Are my values courage, honor, integrity, spirituality, compassion, kindness, whatever those are your values? Or are they values of, loneliness and sorrow and misery and those sorts of things? You get a person like that, they call you up, hey, you want to go to lunch? No. No, I don't. I don't want to expose my mental self to that. So the thing is, you are who you repeatedly tell yourself. The nature, science of mind, if I had to give somebody an elevator speech, it would be about the states in your life are a representation of your dominant thoughts, right? So what you're thinking is what's happening. If you're focusing on God, I'm broke, or I'm sick, or whatever that is, you have to recognize the reality of life and take steps to deal with it, but it doesn't have to become your ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is you are a beautiful, divine, God-like being, and that's the ultimate reality. Don't you ever forget that. So we look at it, the goodness, the states of being we want to see, our value system. What are those value systems? The next is relationships. We have to look at the domain of relationships. How do our relationships exist? What are the important relationships? Perfection of that, right? So you have one child who is just beautiful, wonderful, loving kid, and the other one is Satan's spawn, and so that's a recognition that, that's how this child treats me today, but how I really want to see it is a loving, fulfilling relationship. that's what I want to focus on. You got to recognize the reality of today, but that isn't the reality that I want to see become part of my life. That's not a reality I want to make part of my life. The reality I want to make, this child is perfect, and so am I. So I love this child loves me. That's a different perspective than he's doing it again. So, and then the last domain we want to look at is the domain of conduct. How do we conduct ourselves as we move through this thing for life? Let me tell you, and one of the things to our civilization was a love of wisdom. We call that philosophy. And they created that. And do you know there's only 3 questions that philosophers ever deal with? Just 3. All of philosophy and the history of humanity dealt with 3 questions. The Greeks referred to them as the 3 problems. The first problem was, what do I know? It's the knowledge problem. What do I know and how do I come to know it? So what do I know is this body of knowledge called the ontology. How do I come to know it? That's the epistemology. So you have to defend. You can just create something and say, I know this. But without being able to defend it, at least to yourself, you don't have full and complete and necessary knowledge. So there's the knowledge, that's the first one. The second one, what we're talking about here, conduct. Knowing all that, knowing, all of the things that I value and all that, how do I conduct my life? How do I conduct? Knowing what I know, and how do I go about conducting my life? So you see, it's one of the foundational stones of Western thought is the second idea, the second problem, from what philosophy refers to the second problem of humanity. And then the third is how do we come to govern, the problem of governance. So it's knowledge, conduct, governance. That's all there is about philosophy. That's all any philosophical paper you've ever read is about, one or more of those questions. So it's really important. You can see this is the foundation of philosophy itself, of a love of wisdom. And I know we have a whole bunch of people sitting here right now who are lovers of wisdom. I know that very much. So let's go to the next thing. So here we go. We're going to ask questions. We live in the question. Life is a question, is it not? The whole idea about life is the great question. What does it mean? What does it mean? This contract, besides giving you some focus, besides declaring to the universe what you want in life, besides this idea about a safe harbor where my thoughts protect me from the thoughts that I just don't want to have right now. Doesn't mean I'm burying my head in the sand and ignoring the problems. I'm still taking action to correct them. But on the other hand, while I'm doing that, I'm recognizing the reality of my perfection and of my perfect relationship with God, with money, with whatever it is. And so I start out asking these questions. This may be a little redundant, like having 2 microphones. That's kind of redundant here. This might be a little redundant. Could we go to the next, what do we call those? So there are these 4 corresponding questions. So let's take a look at the first one. We've already said this before. Let's say it again. What states of being do I want to see manifest in my life? Write them down. You've got to write them down. Take a piece of paper and start writing. I want to be healthy, successful, or whatever it is that floats your boat. Whatever it is that speaks to the deepest part of who you are. Those are the kind of states of being you want. And you can steal plenty of them from the covenant that I put out there if any of them work for you. And if they don't steal a different one. Get other ideas. So, but it's got to make sense to you. It's got to speak to you. It is you. It is you. If someone said to me, "Who are you?" I think of the I am. I said, well, when you really get down to it, I am my covenant. I am healthy, successful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because anything you start with the words I am repeatedly and with belief and conviction becomes who you are, right? Becomes you. So that's one major question you've got to ask. And if we are having a workshop Oh, and by the way, we've reduced the price. It was $50 if you walked in. It's $40 straight across, whether you walk in or you've already prepaid. So anyway, so let's go to the second question. So then you start looking at the question, what are my fundamental values? What are they? Are they compassion, kindness, generosity, sincerity, whatever those kind of values are? Or you could also have values that are, I'm going to rip off as many people as I can. Are those values? Well, as it turns out, yeah, those are values, but they're no values that I want to share or be around at all. So the values, the fundamental values, what are they? Know what they are. Don't assume I've got values because I'm just living my life and it reflects my values. Okay? But we're talking about consciously rebuilding who you are, consciously creating the new you, the person that you really are. Number 3 this is the third question. What is the nature of my most important relationships? You know what? I'd be happy to, if anyone wants the workshop notes, you'll get them at the workshop. But there's some very valuable stuff in here which I give out the handout to, or we'll give you your email and we'll email it to you or whatever. Because there's a form in there that talks about this particular thing about relationship, and it fills out one so that you get an idea about what it's all about, and it lists the relationship, and again, it could be with money, with health, with whatever it is, spirituality, whatever it is, and then it talks about, yes, here's the reality of today, but this is how I want it to turn out. And it ties in all those other areas. And then the fourth one, of course, is conduct. Once I know my values, I know I'm fully aware of the states of being I want to see, I understand the nature of my relationships as I want them to be. Once I've got all that, now I'm ready to create this idea about how do I conduct my life. And it reflects in this covenant that can be repeated, become a part of your life. It just can. I slip it in. I'm just driving along and there's traffic and somebody flipped me off and I get a little angry, Anybody ever done that? No, of course not. Yeah. So I go and I'm healthy, successful, wealthy. He's not healthy and wealthy, that guy in that car over there, but me. Anyway, let's go to the next slide. So this is it. This is the covenant with life. This is the piece of paper that you have. But I want to show you how those 4 domains fold into this covenant with life. So if I could borrow your finger, Marcia, there we go. That's right off there. There's the domain of goodness, healthy, successful, wealthy, and all of those sorts of things. So that's where that fits into in this format. It's an open declaration of who I am. This is so consistent with Science of Mind. Isn't that how Science of Mind's spiritual mind treatment starts out, right? With a positive affirmative declaration. This is an affirmative declaration. It starts. So it's so consistent with science. It is Science of Mind. It happens to be my primary spiritual practice. So let's go to the next. We're going to circle some more. So remember I talked to you about values? You see circled in green, you can see truth, honor, integrity, gratitude, honor, humor, learn and grow. Those are values, that show up. And one more, or 2 more actually. And then relationships, you can see there in yellow, my children, entrusted, other people, myself are up at the very beginning. I am becoming. That's a relationship with myself. So that's the magic of this thing. It covers not only your relationship with your mother, your father, your husband, wife, whatever it is, and also if you choose it to be, direct your destiny. You direct your destiny by understanding all of this stuff, by looking at the nature of my relationships, because life is really about relationships. We are not individualistic people. People go crazy in solitary confinement, right? They literally lose their mind, because relationships to everything around us is really important that we understand as humans in order to fulfill a beautiful, wonderful, blessed life. let's go to the next slide. I think we're maintain. Oh, yeah, the conduct. Look at this. I stand, I bring, I live, I approach, I love, I maintain, I accept. Those are things about conduct. So once I understand, I accept complete responsibility for the outcomes in my life. That's a conduct, and it's based upon an analysis of those other three domains and an attempt to answer those questions. Next slide. Okay. We control our thoughts, or our thoughts control us. Don't we all know that? That's Science of Mind 101 kind of stuff. So we could choose to we can choose to create the life that we want, or we can just give it up and say, okay, whatever happens, happens. I think I don't know if I said this on this, but to failure to about it, because your order, so you're going to eat what you got, or you won't eat it. Either way, it's up to you. But the choice is up to you. Do you want to declare to the universe you're good? You want to declare to the universe the nature of your values? Do you want to declare to the universe the relationships? Do you want to declare to the universe who I am and what I do? I go to so many services throughout this spiritual, the Centers for Spiritual Living community, and a lot of them, I'm surprised, say something like that. Here's who we are, and here's what we do. And that's what this thing is all about, this covenant. Here's who I am, and here's what I do, here's what I know. Start out that spiritual mind treatment that way. The next slide will tell us about the methodology. Again, I'm going to simplify the methodology. The methodology is sitting down with some paper. Even though you're speeding through the universe at 2,375,000 miles an hour, sit down with some paper there, strap yourself in, and then start asking those questions. Start with the one about the states of being, the goodness, the domain of goodness. Just start going through those 4 questions, and then once and let me go over one more time the benefits of this. The benefits of this. For the first benefit that we might want to talk about is focus on your perfect life and fix it in mind. I know Rev Pam is pursuing a dream right now. She is making a transition and going into a production company. I think that's stunning. That's absolutely amazing, because it fits more in her mind of the perfect life. I think that's an example for all of us. Go for the perfect life. Take chances, Take chances, because, you miss 100% of the shots you never take, right? So you've got to do that. So anyway, the next thing is it fits in your mind. It's a safe harbor, a sea of thought. Believe me, especially we just emerged from a 2-year lockdown where we were forced, to wear masks and to not go to certain places, and churches all over were shut down, and all sorts of things happened. All that is going on. You could be involved in a torrent of thought. There's a guy named Erasmus, who was like a 14th or 15th century theologian and mathematician. And he said you can never step in the same river twice. I think that's true, because we're constantly assailed by these thoughts. 60,000 of them a day by some count. Bruce Lipton said that in Biology of Belief. Believes 60,000 of these thoughts. How are we to pull out something that saves us, that helps us? I'm being assailed by all these thoughts. Do I want that to happen? Do I going to be a victim and just sit there and let this wash over me? No. I am going to continually remind myself of the amazing God-like being that I am. The amazing God-like being that you are. So it's this safe harbor from all that stuff. And it's a self-created conscience. Look, if I am telling myself that I live with honor and integrity, and I start living a life that is not filled with honor and integrity, if I decide I'm going to rip people off or whatever it is that is not coming from honor and integrity, I can't do it. Why? Because this is like a stone in my shoe. You know, it's like, oh, wait a second. Oh, I just did something that's inconsistent with this covenant that I created. So I just lived in some kind of falsehood. I just did something that isn't me. So it gives you this guidance, I think. It's like a conscience. You know, it tells you, don't do that. No, you don't want to do that. There are repercussions. So go to the next bullet, and we're almost there. It promotes mindfulness. Anybody ever hear of a guy named Dennis Merritt Jones? Yeah, I know you have. Yeah, he built a whole spiritual career on mindfulness. You know, he's retired down in Florida now, having a great time, but he's very mindful about it. So it promotes mindfulness. It promotes this idea of being centered and being connected to all that there is. Are there any more benefits? I don't know. Let's see, maybe one more. Your higher self is calling you. You know, your higher self is always calling you. Your higher self is the person who you just described in your covenant, right? Your higher self is searching for you. That being already exists and is just searching for you. So we reach for our higher selves, and this is a great tool, I think, to kind of project you into, compel you into your higher self. Because your higher self wants to reunite. Your higher self, we're born as our higher self, I think, and we spend the rest of our lives getting back to our higher self. This expedites that process. I think we're done or close to being done. So here's the deal. The ball is in your court. What you can do, there's a number of processes that you can go through right now. You can decide this. Done this workshop lots and lots of times. People have come back to me years later with some really good feedback that it's still on my kitchen, on the refrigerator, and I say it all the time. So anyway, so the question is, how do you want to play it? Isn't that what life is? Life gives you that question all the time. Well, oh, gee, you broke your foot. How do you want to play that? You know, today is an opportunity to change your life. Every day is an opportunity to change your life. Every day, one decision can change your life in dramatic ways that you just don't expect. And today could be one of those days. Maybe not. But anyway, so that's all I've got to say on the covenant. Please feel free to keep the copy that I handed out if it makes sense to you, or remember those 4 questions and change the covenant. Just make it something personal. And again, if you want to attend the workshop, please see Rev Pam or Marcia or myself. I think that, you know, the Bible says there's this phrase about a time for this and there's a time. This is the time for me to shut up. So I think I've done it, and I want to thank you all for being here, and God bless each and every one of you. Oh, one more thing. I am healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, capable, powerful, loving, and happy. I stand in the truth of who I am and joyfully embrace the boundless possibilities of who I am becoming. I bring the best of who I am to whatever I do. I live with honor and integrity. I approach every day with a smile, an open heart, an attitude of gratitude, and a continuous sense of wonder and awe. I love, honor, and protect my children and those entrusted to my care, and I teach them through my living example about the goodness and the endless beauty of life. I use my talents, resources, and abilities to enhance the lives of other people. I maintain my sense of humor. I continually learn and grow, and I accept complete responsibility for the outcomes in my life that are the result of choices that I have made. God bless you. Happy Sunday.
Wow. Paulette, if you would like, please sign up. And you know what? I'm thinking this is an interesting Sunday. And would you come back at another time if there aren't enough signups today to do it like on a Saturday afternoon or something? Okay, thank you. I will be there for sure. That's all I can say. And is there anybody that can sign up today and do this? Is there any? Denise, okay. All right, she's signing up. Is there anybody else here that's signed? Gina's signing up? No. I'm sorry, I can't see, obviously, either. And let me tell you what I got. All I could think of was Monty Python. We're spinning in the universe, and that's not the only thing I got. Okay, you're going to sign up? Okay. So are you willing if just a few sign up to, or? Okay. Denise, will you come back and we'll do it together and we'll find out. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm thinking, Paulette, because this is so valuable. But what I really want is to borrow your memory, too, that you remember that. I don't care how many times you said that. I want your memory and the way you think. That's all. I want to borrow your thinking. That's it. Now we're going to sing we're going to do Love Is My Decision. And then we're going to have our buzz come up with our What's the Buzz? We moved it to the back. You know what, Marcia? Let's drop Love Is Our Decision and bring Buzz up for, yay, What's the Buzz?